Kawaii babies, this is another Storytime video. It is the 19th anniversary of the Pokemon movie 2000. That's almost 20 years. It's almost been 2 decades, but it feels like yesterday I saw the movie, and it's the only movie I've actually gone to see twice. And what's crazy is before I saw the movie, I kind of predicted that Pokeshipping was going to be mentioned. I had a dream on vacation in a hotel room that Ash and Misty were going to kiss in the Pokemon movie 2000. And now that I had that dream in a hotel room, hotel rooms always have like this magical feeling about them. Like there's just something about the smell, the sound, the air conditioning. I love hotel rooms so much. Put me in a hotel room and I go crazy. So anyway, I'm going to be talking about my Pokemon movie 2000 experience. And I will also be talking about a supposedly deleted scene in the movie that was in the script originally, but never actually animated for the movie. So keep watching for that. So earlier that week before the movie was released, a weird foreshadowing event happened that kind of predicted the downfall of Pokeshipping. So basically I asked a fortune-telling ball, will Ash and Misty kiss? And the fortune-telling ball told me no, Ash and Misty will not kiss. And I was like, it's just a stupid fortune-telling ball. What does it know? But then I stopped and really thought about it. And then all of a sudden I remember being clouded by this dark feeling that darker than anything I've ever felt before or ever experienced. And it scared me so bad that I decided to go to bed early that night. And when I woke up the next day, the feeling was gone. Also that week, I made a wish on a wishing stone for Ash and Misty to kiss. Keep this in mind because it plays an important role later on in the story. So that week is the week I had to do summer school because my math teacher hated me, even though I was really scared of her. And I failed 6th grade math and I had to take summer school. And I literally started summer school on the Monday of the week of the Friday they were releasing the movie. And this made me mad because I didn't want to have to do summer school during this. But what's funny is that in the first week of summer school, I was able to concentrate really well. But the second week, I could not concentrate at all after seeing the movie. And now, every time I'm in a place that's like classroom that I was in for summer school, I get this magical feeling that I can't explain. And again, with the magical music. So before seeing the movie, I remember watching the little special they had on the Pokemon movie 2000. And does anybody remember Dream Street? No, they don't understand Pokemon. Or Alicia, who they made a really big deal out of, but she never really blew up to be famous. So anyway, watching the special kind of made me sad. Not because Pokeshipping wasn't mentioned in it, but because I wasn't really doing anything to make the world a better place. Because this special made a big deal out of the power of one and showing how kids were selling rocks painted as ladybugs to help their mother fight cancer. After watching it, it made me feel like I wanted to do something like that. I wanted to make a difference in this world, and now I know I can by breaking the stigma on mental illness. So before going to see the movie, I remember telling myself I would still enjoy it even if Pokeshipping isn't mentioned. So the first Pokemon movie brought in a lot of money. So going to see the second one on the day that it was released was crazy. There was a line all the way back to the side of the theater that we had to wait in to get in, and then I had forgotten my glasses. And then we found out that the 2 showings of the movies were completely full, so we were able to go back home and get my glasses, and I remember watching Sailor Moon that day. And also, for fun, I made Orange Island gym badges. I basically just took seashells and glued gems on them, and I still have them to this day just for the memory of that day. But yeah, they're like Pokemon badges. And after we decided we had to go back, and we still had to wait for a while, but we eventually got into a showing. I think it was like the 4th or 3rd showing of the movie. Also, for seeing the movie the day it was released, you get this really cool legendary Mew card, which I still have. I have like 2 of them. So before the movie started, there was a Pokemon short called Pikachu's Rescue Adventure. And my mom told me when she was watching it, she thought the entire movie was just going to be Pokemon. And that's almost as bad as watching Paw Patrol with your little girl or little boy. But luckily it wasn't all just Pokemon. And what was funny is that people were laughing at every single joke. Even the really lame ones were like, Ashley's like, I don't feel like the chosen one. I feel like the frozen one. And then the Team Rocket one where Jesse and James are like, I hate to get zapped by their lightning. I hate to get burned by their fire. And then Meowth's like, I hate to get hit by their droppings. Like, they were laughing at every single part. Oh, and at the part where Melody's like, oh, you'll get used to it. It's just something you need to work on when the two of you get married. Some grown man laughed so hard out loud at that line, but he stopped halfway because he was like the only person in the audience laughing at the joke. And it was kind of awkward, so he like stopped. Whoever you are the coolest person ever. I love you so much. Seriously, I want to have your babies. Just joking. So before going to see the movie, I already had an interest in the female character, Melody, in the movie, and that's why I'm cosplaying her. I always felt like if I was reincarnated into the Pokemon world, I would be reincarnated as Melody, because one, I used to have a crush on Ash, and two, she's also a Poke shipper. She also teases Misty about liking Ash. And I was also really interested in her design. I thought she was really cool. And on a side note, He Loves You Not by Dream would have been perfect for the soundtrack for the triangle between Melody, Misty, and Ash. So backing up, at the beginning of the movie, when Melody asks Misty if she's Ash's girlfriend, I remember thinking that would be the only time Poke shipping would be mentioned in the movie. But yet Misty doesn't let it go. She gets really mad about it. And it builds up and builds up to the point where I realized that this is kind of a subplot of the movie. And it wasn't until the part where they were on the ocean looking for Ash that I realized, I paused and thought to myself, oh my god, my dream for Ash and Misty to kiss in this movie might actually come true. Oh my god, I made a wish to God about making this come true not too long ago. Oh my god, I communicated with God! Why I was so dramatic like that as a kid, I blame on puberty. Or maybe I'm just really weird. Yeah, I think I'm just really weird. Now, at the part of the movie where Ash falls into the water and floats to the top, in the Japanese version, you do not hear him breathing. But in the American version, you do hear him breathing. But even though I could hear him breathing, I still thought he needed CPR. Now, if I had to blame a moment on the reason why I became so obsessed with Ash and Misty's love, I dedicate it to this moment. Because I have never, ever, ever been more scared in my entire life. I was praying for them not to kiss. I was having a panic attack, hoping that this would not happen at all. Because, you see, I was at the age where I was still uneasy watching kiss scenes, and I was still grossed out by them, but at the same time I was starting to enjoy them. So watching a kiss scene that I wanted to see happen in a full theater of people with my family was so embarrassing that I started to wish for it not to happen. And who knows, maybe I wished my dream, I reversed my wish, and maybe I'm the reason why Poke shipping is never going to happen, because my feelings were so strong in that moment that I literally took my wish and reversed it. So I got my wish. Misty did not do CPR on Ash. But on a side note, Misty, aren't you a water Pokemon trainer? Haven't your sisters taught you how to do CPR? Because you're not even doing the chest compressions right. Like, I know because I've been registered in CPR. Also, Misty not doing CPR on Ash made the movie very anticlimactic. Because, like, in the first Pokemon movie, it took a whole bunch of Pokemon to cry their tears to get Ash to be revived. And plus, it made so much sense plot-wise, because the whole time, Melody's, like, teasing Misty about liking Ash. And for Misty to have to face her fear of being romantic with Ash in order to save his life made so much sense. Because, like, that scene where Melody's like, oh, don't worry, I'll go rescue him, is like her saying, oh, okay, you don't want to do CPR on him? Fine, I'll do him. No. And Misty's like, bitch, that's my man. You ain't taking my man. Now, there's a rumor that there is a deleted scene where Misty does do CPR on Ash. Now, according to Shudo Takashi's blogs, there was a scene that was in the script that was never animated where Misty basically goes bonkers because Ash is not waking up. She gets really mad and starts hitting him really hard, and they were afraid in other countries this might come off too violent. Now, he's unclear whether or not Misty did mouth-to-mouth to Ash, but I have a weird feeling that they were considering it just because it made so much sense plot-wise. So on the car ride home, I remember feeling extremely numb. Like, all the feelings that movie made me feel, I just felt completely numb. And when I got home, I celebrated by wearing my favorite jewelry and listening to my favorite music. And I was obsessing over it. I couldn't stop thinking about it until the next day I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a small break from thinking about it. So I thought about being a Pokemon trainer in my gym and my Pokemon and stuff like that. But as soon as I finished thinking about something else, the minute I remembered the Pokemon movie 2000, I remember being overcome with just unbelievable happy emotions that it was so intense that I almost felt like I blacked out. And so I started picturing really random stuff, like really random. And one of the random things I remember picturing Jesus Christ. So what's interesting is that around this time, there was this one song that was being way overplayed on the radio. And that song was Bent by Matchbox 20. Now, originally, I hated this song. Every time it came on, I would turn to a different station or listen to a cassette tape because I hated that song. They played it way too much. But what's crazy is a year goes by, and I hear the song again during my depression in 2001. After not hearing it for a whole year, I get these violent flashbacks of the Pokemon movie 2000. One scene in particular, for some reason, that comes up, it's the scene where Ash is on a broken plane part and Charizard and his other Pokemon are pulling him. Like, that scene comes back to my mind every time I hear the opening guitar riffs of Vent. So, I originally hated this song, but I became addicted to this song like a drug because it brought back such happy memories of the Pokemon movie 2000s that it didn't matter if I didn't like it in the beginning. I always wanted to listen to it. Also, on my Tumblr, I'm going to make a list of songs that remind me of Pokeshipping. And it's basically going to be a nostalgia trip back to the 90s and early 2000s, because that's when I became a Pokeshipper. So if you want to have a throwback and listen to some really old songs from the 90s and early 2000s, please go check that out on my Tumblr. So that's my Pokemon movie 2000 experience. Next year, it will be the 20th anniversary of the movie, and it would be really cool if they would remake it, and maybe even include that deleted scene. But I think it's very unlikely, because then they might feel like they have to remake all the Pokemon movies, and there's already so many of them already that they kind of just can't keep up with it all. So, probably not going to happen. But anyway, if you're a Pokeshipper, what's your Pokemon movie 2000 experience? Leave it in the comments, and thank you so much for watching, Kawaii Babies. Always a kawaii Barbie girl.